Alright, what's good, ladies and gents? It's Tyler from the Tri-Gents here, and today I'm bringing you another one of my patch rundowns for League of Legends. Today we're covering patch 5.7, which was announced yesterday. So we're just going to dive right into it here. It's a little bit of a smaller patch overall, so there's not going to be as much information to cover as there was last time. Okay, so the first thing, Earth is still going to be in the game for now, which is good. Everybody loves Earth, so I don't understand why Riot just wouldn't keep it in. There's a couple good suggestions about how to incorporate Earth into the game on a full-time basis, but whether Riot takes it, I don't know. But I think they should. Bard gets more changes on release. He's like one of the worst release champions I can think of in recent memory. So they're buffing some of his base stats, his attack damage and armor, which really helps his early laning, because as of right now, his laning's garbage, and he relies on roaming, but he's not even that good at roaming. He just really collects his chimes, and that's all he does. So these changes help his survivability and his harass in lane, which is pretty nice. His passive here as well. His meeps, which are the little things that empower his auto attacks. The respawn time for them with the chimes is on a shorter cooldown, which is nice. Again, higher lane harass, which is really nice. And it also more mana increase, which is also nice. These are actually nice changes to his passive. This is the first time I'm reading these changes, by the way. Yeah. And his Q ability power ratio and the base power went way up. So this really helps his laning actually, and his transition into late game because the ratio goes up. This is interesting actually. I'm gonna have to try Bard again. I actually played him last night, and to a degree of success. But with these changes, This is interesting. I could maybe see him getting tested out by some of the pro players. Still a pretty hard pick to pull off in solo queue though. Blitzcrank gets some changes that more fit in with the nature of the champion. They change his W, so you're faster when you first use your ability, your W, overdrive, but towards the end of it, you slow down. Which really, if you think about it, that makes sense. You get a burst of speed, but then you kind of like peter off. And that actually makes sense. I wouldn't say it's a huge nerf per se, but it's an interesting change for sure. It's like he's got a little righteous glory now, kind of built into him. But I don't know. It's interesting. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Darius with a little bit of a change. He gets mana back when he kills someone with his ultimate. And the amount of mana he gets back scales off of his level, whether he's level 6, 13, or 16, or no, whatever, 6, 11, or 16, yeah. And when it's at rank 3 ultimates, the level 16, the cooldown of the ultimate will reset completely. Because as of right now, it's like I think it's at like it goes down to a 15-second cooldown or something like that. Maybe it's 12 seconds. So that's going to be huge. That really helps Darius' late game, because if he gets ahead in the early game, which he often does, he's going to have insane kill potential in the late game in those big team fights that are chaotic. Because what Darius will usually do, he'll build 1 or 2 damage items, and then he'll build into tank. So not only will he be hard to kill, but yeah, he'll do a butt ton of damage. Evelyn saw some changes in the last patch rundown I covered, 5.6. They changed they changed her invisibility and stuff like that. Well, now they've upped her Q damage, and I said in the last patch rundown that Evelyn had a potential to come back after the last changes. Well, if that didn't make her come back before, this will definitely help again. Her jungle clear is now way better with these changes. Plus, she does more damage on the ganks, which she was already pretty good at. So the primary thing this will help is the ganking, or the jungle clearing, sorry. So that's really nice. Big fan of Evelyn. Fizz, they made some changes to him, like, I don't know, like 4 patches ago or something, where they made his W way better in terms of AD Fizz. So you would build the Devourer jungle enchantment, and then you could build like Blade of the Ruined King or something, and then you would just insta-heal people, and you'd have unlimited attack speed. And when your W is popped, it would have insane DOT, and it would just melt people. But now they're kind of shifting the power in that. So the damage that is on hit is less than it was before, which is a nerf to the AD Fizz that we've been seeing a lot more of. But the actual damage on the DOT has gone up, which is better for AP Fizz. So we might see AP Fizz come back. He's already seen a little bit of play. I know Gravity, the professional team Gravity, their mid laner Keen, has played a little bit of AP Fizz again. Like, he'll build Abyssal Scepter, Zanyas, and then tank, which is quite interesting. So yeah, we could see AP Fizz come back, but AD Fizz definitely took a hit here. Garen's ult cooldown went down. Garen's like, I don't know. This won't do much for him. So this is kind of like the start of something more, if you ask me. So it's a step, I guess, but nothing big happening here. Hecarim is currently the god top laner in the game. You take Ignite Teleport, and he has basically unlimited map pressure, because if he gets even slightly ahead, he can just kill the opposing top laner over and over. And he's got insane map pressure because of Home Guard Teleport. So essentially, whenever he has Teleport up, he will get a kill. It's inevitable. So this here is toning back his laning in particular. They're nerfing his regeneration stats on health and mana, which is huge actually. Because right now Hecarim's big weakness is the 2v1s, and this'll enhance that even more. So not only is his 1v1 a little bit weaker, but his 2v1 is way weaker now. This'll definitely tone Hecarim down a little bit. I could still see him being a top level pick, but this'll definitely hurt his laning. Kassadin's Riftwalk, the duration that the stacks last, they lowered it, which is interesting. Yeah, I don't know, that's interesting. Just down 5 seconds. I guess it's a buff. Yeah, they don't want to like mana lock Kassadin, which is fine, and it's a little bit better for his damage. So I don't know, that's all I gotta say about that. Maokai has been like the best top laner for like 10 patches. So they're nerfing his passive. Essentially, it's worse at earlier levels now, but it's better as you get into the later game. So his early laning is hurt. The thing that's disappointing for me is that this hurts Jungle Maokai pretty significantly. And I know Jungle Maokai is not meta, so to speak, but it's actually not that bad. This change, however, this kind of destroys Jungle Maokai in a way. I'd say he's still playable, especially once you get Cinderhulk, because once you get Cinderhulk, you're god. You're a god anyway. But this is like, yeah, this is definitely aimed at top lane, but they may have inadvertently hit the jungle. I don't know if they were trying to do that, but Morgana, just some visual stuff. Nidalee, she's like the only jungler that's still relevant that doesn't build Cinderhulk, and yet they nerfed her anyway, which is, I mean, I guess it's fair. They're nerfing her early clear by lowering her base HP and her health per level. That does hurt a lot. I noticed that when I'm a jungler myself, so I noticed that when I play Nidalee, I get quite low in the jungle, and you have to burn both your pots pretty early, even though you have a heal. This will make it so that your clear is no longer as safe. So, essentially, like, if you're going for an early fight, you're going to be way more vulnerable than you were before. Which, I mean, I guess that's fine. Nidalee's one of the best skirmishers in the game right now with the way her hunt passive works. But yep, it hurts, but it's also a warranted nerf, so. Blind works intuitively. For reference. Blind miss window change from on attack to... Oh, interesting. Okay. So what it's saying is that essentially the blind starts when you launch your Q now, instead of when it hits. So it'll target whoever you're aiming at, that's interesting. That's a really good dueling tool, actually. Like, Quinn, in my opinion, Quinn's actually not that bad right now. She's an insane dueler, but this is really good against enemy AD carries. Like, so it's really good for bot lane, but in top lane as well. Against the bruisers, this is good. I can't think of any bruisers off the top of my head that are really meta right now. Most of them are AP, which is unfortunate. But like, maybe like Shyvana, who's coming back. A lot of these champions that are running the Smite Teleport because of Cinderhulk right now, this is pretty good against them. Rek'Sai, his damage went down on his Q, which is warranted. I mean, he does a ton of damage, but he's the only jungler that doesn't need Cinderhulk really relevant right now, even though he's building Cinderhulk now. So they're really lowering his damage, and they're lowering her damage. But they're lowering the cooldown on her reusing the tunnel. So right now, once you use the tunnel, it's basically on cooldown, so to speak, for 10 seconds. So even if it's on the map, you can't touch it for 10 seconds. That'll scale now as you level up the ability. And it's pretty 50-50 on what you max second usually on Rek'Sai. I've seen both, maxing W or E second. This could influence maxing E second because you would get more damage on your E in unburrowed form, and you'd get the lower cooldown on your burrowed form E, which is nice. Shen alt cooldown goes down. This is a similar thing to Garen. What's interesting about this one to me though is that Shen is currently one of those champions that is taking Smite Teleport in the top lane, and they build Cinderhulk because Cinderhulk stacks percentage-based HP. So Cinderhulk, as of right now, gives you 350 HP, and then for every HP item you build, you get like an extra 25% on top of that. So top laners are taking it to just become absurdly tanky. Like you'll see like 5,000 HP tanks in the late game. It's ridiculous. And they'll farm the jungle camps as well in between when they can't farm in lane. So will Shen come back? Possibly. I don't know. I like Shen. Bug fix for Singe, not really big. Damage cap to monsters. Oh well. Teemo got a similar treatment to Quinn with her blind, or with his blind. So the blind starts as the dart shoots, which is I really just talked about that above. So Tristana, Q reduces E's cooldown. Oh, okay. So when you have Q active, your E cooldown goes down. But to compensate for that, they've increased the base cooldown on your explosive charge. So I guess they want you to take cooldown reduction on Tristana, which to me doesn't make sense unless you're building like Yomu's, which is the only item I can think of that gives cooldown reduction for 80 carries. I don't know. But I think this is actually a buff. In reality, it won't do that much. If you take CDR, it's a buff, but there's really no CDR items for 80 carries. But yeah, overall it won't do much. The values are pretty similar because the auto attacks will reduce by 0.5 seconds. But once you get a lot of attack speed, so if you have like a Blade of the Ruined King or a Phantom Dancer, that'll be an insane cooldown reduction on this. Alright, here's the big nerf. Cinderhulk got nerfed. One of them is more of a bug fix. The overall combination cost went up 50 gold. Apparently it was supposed to be like that, but it just never was for some reason. They also reduced the amount of health that Cinderhulk is by 50. So this is kind of the start of what is going to happen to Cinderhulk, because as of right now, the new item Cinderhulk is currently shaping the meta in the sense that the HP stacking on it is so good that people feel the need to take it. Make sure I'm streaming. Okay, good. It's kind of like if your jungler doesn't have it, he's going to be irrelevant as the game goes on because the metagame's currently favoring these tanky junglers that'll just tank and CC the enemy team. And right now we're even seeing top laners take the Cinderhulk item and take Smite TP, which is absolutely insane. That's that's so bad for the meta in my opinion anyway. I know there's a lot of professional players that share that sentiment with myself. Not that they care what I think, but this is not good. It's gonna have to get nerfed, and it won't really change anything until the percentage value that you get. So like as of right now, I believe it's 25% right now. It won't tell me right here. No, it's just gonna bring that up. But until they nerf the percentage value, it's still going to be the god jungle item. Like, there's no reason to get anything else unless you're Nidalee. Or maybe Lee Sin to get warrior enchantment. Nidalee for Magus enchantment, of course. But I don't even remember what the other ones are. No, there's only one other one, but I don't remember what it is. A Devour, and the only one who built that was Fizz, maybe Warwick, so. Tiamat, previously, now scales linearly. Oh, I see. So you're taking damage now based on how close you are to the target, instead of like before the damage would just occur whether you were like within a certain range, but now depending on how close you are, it'll scale depending on that. I don't know, it's a nice little change. They nerfed the Gromp buff, which is really, really good, because the Gromp is disgustingly overpowered right now. Because what would happen is, these Cinderhulk tank junglers, I'm going to use Sejuani as the example, because she's the primary abuser of it. They would smite the Gromp before a team fight, and they would come in and just insta-kill the squishies. Because the Gromp damage scales currently 10% off your bonus HP, which is ridiculous, because the Cinderhulk is giving you an insane amount of bonus HP. So these tanks will come in, Sejuani will just come in and ult you, and you're basically dead. There's nothing you can do about it. So this is to give like a little bit of counterplay. So it still does some damage, but this is definitely a warranted nerf. The Gromp was insane for team fighting and even just dueling with these tanks. So this is a step in the right direction to nerfing these tank junglers. But Cinderhulk still needs to get changed a little bit. Minions, new spawn animation, no big deal. Victory, defeat banners, whatever. Loading screen, not a big deal. Twisted Tree Line and Crystal Scar. I don't really play, so I don't really want to I don't really want to cover it, because in all honesty, my knowledge of this meta, so to speak, is not very high. This is the Omega Squad Teemo skin. These skins will all be released. So during this patch. So Omega Squad Teemo, I'm buying this. This is insane. I wonder if I can pull up some art of it. Okay, well here's a full screen shot of it. I don't even think this does it justice. It looks terrifying, but the in-game stuff is amazing. They did such a good job with this skin. Arclight Vayne. It's also cool that they already have a theme with these Arclight champions. This is interesting. I like it. I like the theme. Debonair Galio. That's hilarious. That's funny. Very cool skin. Except too bad Galio still sucks. And then, alright, so we have the more Guardian of the Sands. I'm not gonna pull them all up, but Skarner, Rammus, and Xerath. That'll be cool, especially for Skarner. Skarner got a new ultimate skin, or whatever it's called, legendary skin recently though. So I guess I don't know. Regardless, pretty cool. So anyway, that's about it. Smaller patch this time, as I said. But yeah, if you have any questions about the patch, leave a comment and I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see from me involving League of Legends in the future as well. Whether it's, I don't know, maybe like a champion guide. I can definitely do a champion guide, even a video guide of how to do a champion, or just gameplay commentaries, things like that. Or you can come check out my stream. I stream pretty frequently. Lately I've been playing more Heroes of the Storm than I have League of Legends. But yeah, I'm still keeping my League of Legends knowledge up to par. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. And that's about it. Peace.